In your book, For White Folks Who Teach in the Hood and the Rest of Y'all Too,
Yes.
you talk about reality pedagogy. Can you share with us what you mean with reality pedagogy?
You know, when I wrote that book, I had a lot to share philosophically about ways to improve education, particularly in spaces with diverse populations and more urban spaces. And so I wanted to share a lot of philosophy. I wanted to share a lot of theory, because I think we need a new philosophy, a new approach. We need new theory to make sense of things, but I also wanted to leave the reader, the educator, with some practical and tangible tools to be able to implement, to be able to move the needle. And so reality pedagogy was my attempt to provide a framework and also some practice, right? So for me, reality pedagogy is this: look, you cannot teach somebody if you don't understand their realities. I don't care if you think you know their culture. Their culture oftentimes is your perception of their culture. Their reality is different, all right? What do they go through every day, right? What does the morning sound like, smell like? What is my community engaging in with, right? So I wanted to make a distinction between reality and culture, because culture can be perceived as monolithic, and reality is necessarily varied based on the complexities of the populations you have in front of you. 30 kids got 30 realities, even if they have a perceived shared culture. So this opens up the space for more sophistication. Reality pedagogy for me also was, okay, if you say, Dr. Emdin, they all have different realities, and you're making an argument that I want to incorporate those realities into instruction, well, how do I do that? How do I teach 30 different realities? And so I offered what I call the 7 C's of reality pedagogy, right? Which is a practical way to get there. Cogenerative dialogues, conversations with young people that might represent different groups within even a shared culture, to get feedback on the instruction, co-teaching, where a kid who have a particular perspective can be the one who leads the instruction, and the teacher is learning from that kid. Cosmopolitanism, creating a classroom culture. Y'all listen to me. Everybody want to be culturally relevant without recognizing that you could create a culture in your classroom. Consider that. And then you and your kids have your own schema, your own practices, your own understandings. And now you're not culturally relevant to this wide swath. You're just culturally relevant because you're focused on the realities of the kids you have in front of you right now. Like, you know what I mean? Can you consider that, right? So I could be culturally relevant, broadly, philosophically, but my culture is co-constructed with my babies as we learn math together. And that, I think, is the piece that we miss. So reality pedagogy allows us to do that. We build classroom culture. We focus on context, on content, on curation, studying ourselves, or reflecting back on videotapes of our own classroom and instruction. So, but I'm sorry, I get excited. Reality pedagogy is a means through which we move beyond the traps of cultural relevance, right? And delve deeply into the localized understandings of the particular youth we have in front of us, philosophically and practically. And that's why I articulate that concept in For White Folks Who Teach in the Hood and the Rest of Y'all Too.